Okay, good morning. Can we start? Am I audible? Hello? Okay, fine. Yesterday we left out the class with respect to your special value testing. So in the special value testing, okay, special value testing. In this, when we can imply special value testing as for the complex mathematical calculations, worst case situations, problematic situations from past experience. This plays a vital role. The last point, so you can just underline that. You can just go through it. So the next one is categorization. Second guess, likely implementations. That means whatever the experience that we have from the previous past, so we'll just go with it. So it is an instinct. So with that particular instinct, we can just guess what type of values I need to input, what will be the expected output. So like that, we can just do it. Experience helps, of course, past experience, that's what the meaning it says. Frequently done by user. Obviously, I'll be doing it often and often, that particular task. So that's why I know better about that particular topic. So the next one is defines measurement. Measurement is nothing but, okay, whatever the metric that you use for measuring the quantities, that will be done with respect to your special value testing. So next one is highly intuitive. Intuitive is nothing but easy to understand and easy to implement. There is nothing hidden agenda in this, no formula, nothing. Whatever the experience that I am having with respect to that, I'll just start implementing it. So it's easy for anybody to understand and go forward. Next one is seldom repeatable. What do you mean by seldom? Seldom in the sense, repeatable is oftenly will be repeating it. What do you mean by seldom? Seldom is nothing but very rarely repeatable. That means offer a just example. If I take it with respect to your next state problem, with respect to your next state problem, we have a special previous experience with respect to your leap years followed by your July. Why it is so, we don't know, but it is that, yes. It has been followed from so many years, yes, of course. One simple question I'll throw at to you. So always with respect to your next date problem, your date starts from 1812. Why can't it start from 1? Do we have any answer for it? If you say yes, you can just uh, type it on the group chat. If you say no, also you can just type it on the group chat. If you have some confusion, you can just type it in the group chat. Whatever the things that you want to have it, your gesture is always welcome. I repeatedly telling you this, don't message me privately. So message should be to everyone, can be viewed by everyone. How many participants? 46 participants are there. Okay. Any guess why your particular okay, I'll say that it starts from 1812 itself. Why is it so? Okay, anybody have you heard about Gregorian calendar? Gregorian calendar has been begun in the year 1812 after BC. So from 1812, your leap year existence was noted. From 1812, they started to uh, recognize the Earth revolutions. Based on that, they have identified the days as 30, 31, whatever it is, subsequent months. And 12 months will be there. Everything has been derived from that particular calendar. That too, with respect to your leap year, once in 4 years, you will be having 29 days. It was given by your Gregorian calendar itself. So based on that particular instincts, we'll be moving forward. So seldom is nothing but very rarely you will be getting the or you will be failing in this particular task. So always your experience based on that, everything will be taken into consideration. Kindly switch off the video as well as audio if you have joined right now. Any doubt with respect to this topic? Can we go? Can we move further? How to design a test case for this? It's very simple. Any particular problem statement given for you just assume the worst case situation that becomes the test case for it. Yesterday we have seen one such type of worst case situation with respect to your boundary value analysis. The same thing you can just put it over here, followed by your past experience. That is with respect to your next state problem. Only few particular tasks you can just take it. That is with respect to 31 July. What happens the next particular month? You can change that particular year and you can just change the year, but remaining two will be remaining one and the same. That is July 31st. What will be the case? Next should be August 1st. That's what it should be written as an output. So these are all nothing but your special value testing. Now the question is, how effective is it? You're getting my point, all of you. Are you able to listen to my? Can you able to hear me? Say yes or no. Okay, fine. So when to use this particular special value? Whenever you will be having some past experience, then you start using this. Otherwise, you'll be getting a failure always. Suppose you know how the bubble sort will be working always. So you can predict the output. So there you can use this. Whereas if you have not experienced anything about your particular radix type of sorting technique, then you should not use this particular special value testing. So that is the simple example that I can give you right now. But in some cases, with respect to your normally with respect to your date problem or with respect to your um, any mathematical computations with respect to differentiation or integration, which cannot be possible by human minds, so large number of large digits are available in multiplying or differentiating or something like that, then you can just go with special value testing. So that's all I can say right now with respect to your special value testing. Next, we'll go for one more particular type of testing. This is also special value testing, boundary value analysis testing, and outrange coverage testing. All these are the flavors of your functional testing itself. All these are worked with respect to your pen and pencil. So that's what I want to just say. As the name itself suggests that it is output range. So based on the output ranges, we'll be predicting back the inputs. Best example that I can give you right now is commission problem, where you have the outputs of two types. One is with respect to sales, another one is with respect to your calculating the commission. So calculating the commission, whenever you are going with it, at that time, you can predict the sales. With respect to that particular sales, you can predict what will be the input of logs, stocks, and barrels. That's how it will be working. That is nothing but your output range coverage uh, technique. So it is what they call it as mirror image of equivalence partitioning. What is equivalence partitioning? We have just gone in a brief note. We'll just check it out what it is. Once again, we'll come back to this. We'll have a debate on it. Right now, what you can just say is output range is based on the output that we have selected. Suppose you can just go with triangle problem. In that triangle problem, you have only one output. Okay, fine. If you have one output also, can you predict back what will be the input? Just have a question. Okay, I'll say equivalence, sorry, equivalent triangle, equilateral triangle, sorry. I'll say equilateral triangle. Now, what will be the output that you, what will be the input that you will be feeding it? Can you, anybody predict it? It can be, if it ranges from 1 to 20, 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 10, 10, 10, 9, 9, 9, 20, 20, 20. Anything it can be. So three sides are there. In all the three sides will vary from 1 to 20. Can we have this particular type of input? It's a predicted one. So if you are predicting such a type of input, then we'll say that output range coverage is happening over there. But we cannot predict it only for equilateral. There are several other flavors also. Isosceles is there, scalene is there, not a triangle is there. So it's hard for us to predict the input based on the output. Whereas, or if you say isosceles, equilateral, it is very easy. But if you say isosceles, any two sides can be side one, side two, or side two, side three, or side three and side one. So any particular case, you'll be getting the same particular type of. How will you predict it? What will be the input? So it's very hard for us. Whereas with respect to your commission problem, there are few calculations. Based on that, sales will be calculated. So if you say 10% range, then in that any value between 100 to 1000, you can just take it. So it is predicted that your input will be based on that particular sales should be in between that. So based on the sales, you can just predict what will be the input of logs, stocks, and barrels. So their input prediction is very easy when compared to your triangle problem. So that's why we apply output range coverage whenever the more than one output is available. From one output, another output can be predicted. Based on that, you can go back. That is nothing but you're backtracking to the inputs, how we can choose it. So this is how it will be available. And it also helps us to identify ambiguous cases of outputs. That's what. Somebody says it's an equilateral triangle. Somebody says it's an isosceles triangle. Now, how to agree? What will be the thing that I need to consider? So based on the output, it is easy for me to predict what will be the input. So with respect to this input, always I can say that, yes, this input, whenever I'll be feeding it, so I'll be expected this particular type of output itself. Hello? Hello? Am I audible? Do my screen is visible for all of you? Hello? Is the screen visible? Is it visible? Hello? Is it visible? Now? Okay. Okay, fine. We'll continue. This is one particular type of commission problem where you have three variables: logs, stocks, and barrels. So in this, the maximum for logs is 70, 1 to 70, and stocks is 1 to 80, and your barrels is 1 to